Welcome on the VFAB podcast. I'm so excited to have you here. I've been looking forward to this for a few weeks now since I've spoken with you. I wanted to give you a minute to introduce yourself and talk about where you work and everything Nevada Vocational and Rehabilitation has to offer.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you, Whitney, so much for reaching out and inviting me to join you today. I'm super excited. My name is Erica Brown. I'm a business account manager with Nevada Vocational Rehabilitation. We are a division of the Department of Employment Training and Rehabilitation. So we are the R in DETR. And our mission is to provide support to individuals with documented disabilities from the ages of 14 and up who may be experiencing barriers to employment. We provide guidance and counseling to help them obtain, maintain, and also advance in employment. So we have two customers. So our first customer is the job seeker. Our second customer is the employer. And I provide support to employers. I do outreach in our community in Southern Nevada, talking to employers about hiring people with disabilities and providing advice and guidance on reasonable accommodations, that process. Also introducing them to a untapped labor market of people with disabilities and how making the business case for hiring people with disabilities, which is folks with disabilities provide innovation to your business, great perspectives, and also it's a great way to, just make sure that you're representing your community by having people with disabilities in all roles in all industries. That really makes folks in the community feel like businesses are making a commitment to have their staff represent the community.
I love
So
that.
that's a
Yeah.
little bit of what I do. Very rewarding.
You just said basically touched on everything that vocational rehabilitation does. So for our listeners who may not know, what exactly do they need to do to become a part of vocational rehabilitation?
Absolutely. Thank you. That's a great question. So it is based on eligibility. Interested individuals who would like to become participants of our program can visit our website. It's vrnevada.nv.gov. There are a few pre-screen questions. When you click on apply here, it'll take you to another page where there are a couple of questions that will ask, what type of disability you may have, how that disability might impact your work or obtaining employment. And then it will, once you answer those pre-qualifying questions, it'll take you to the pre-application or pre-intake. Once that's submitted, in about 5 days, you'll receive email from our global scheduler for a pre-intake appointment with our rehabilitation technician. And they will go over all of the steps and documentation that's needed in order to become a participant of vocational rehabilitation. So the two primary documents for adults would be verification from a medical provider of your disability or a awards letter from Social Security Disability. And those are the two main ways that we qualify folks. Now that probably takes up to 60 days. That starts and the individual is now a participant and they're made eligible for services. The counselor that they've been assigned to is going to help them and support them the entire employment journey. And they will go into starting to create an employment plan, and that can take up to 90 days.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, 90 days.
I throw that in as well.
No, I appreciate that because 3 months really isn't that bad to get on track to get a job and get that started. And you guys have been to Pahrump as well. We talked on the phone for a little bit, and I'll get to that in the questions. But how does it help people with disabilities when it comes to finding and keeping a job?
Absolutely. So our counselors are incredibly well trained and they are there to assist and really focus on and customizing services for each individual. Every individual with the same disability is not going to need the same accommodation. So that's why we take a lot of time in getting to know our and putting them into work experience and community-based assessments to kind of determine what they need a little bit more support on and how we can facilitate that support. And that can help them in the long run with maintaining employment. We also provide self advocacy training. So once the individual knows and feels comfortable with the accommodation they may need, they're able to communicate that to the employer and even mention that during an interview, if they feel comfortable disclosing their disability ahead of time, so that the employer is prepared to provide those accommodations if they're selected to start.
Okay, that's incredible. And so you work with any employment that's willing to work with you guys?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yes, any employer who's willing, who has an opportunity and is open to accommodations if the individual, not every individual that goes through vocational rehabilitation needs accommodations, but if the employer is open to that process, we are so thrilled to work with them.
Oh, that's really good to know. I'm excited for that. So what kinds of career exploration opportunities are available through this program?
So we have a lot of different choices based on we customize it based on the interest and the employment plan, which is created by the counselor and the participant. So, for instance, if we have an individual who's interested in medical front office, my role is to go out and speak to employers in that industry and kind of pitch our community based assessment, our work experience programs where individuals who might not have a lot of experience in the field but may have the certifications and they just need to get their foot in the door in the industry. And we pitch that to our community employers in, say, the medical field, and let them know that we would pay for the wage, the liability insurance for maybe about 100 hours or more
Wow.
based on what the counselor feels is appropriate and the employer. And the only thing the employer that we request for them to do is complete a weekly evaluation and help with the time card submission. But the time card is usually a responsibility of the participant to make sure they're also work ready and taking care of that.
That is incredible. And from an employer standpoint, how do they get in contact with you to say we want to offer this service in our community?
Absolutely. So they can reach out to me or my colleague, Lori Caldwell. Now, Lori is in Northern Nevada. But my website, our rehabilitation, under About Us, Lori and I's contact information is located. Again, that is vrnevada.nv.gov. And if you click on Business Services Team, our pictures are there. So you can see our photos as well as our contact information, our email address, and our phone number. And employers, we would love to work with you in helping fill those positions and grow your company.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, I feel like here in Pahrump, we definitely will have some employers that would be excited to welcome this into their workspace. So going on to career hubs and job support, can you explain what the career hubs do and how they connect to you guys?
Yes, absolutely. So career hubs work with the business hubs. So the Employee B system is the workforce development system for the state of Nevada. And there are career hubs throughout Nevada, both north and south, that provide support to job seekers of all abilities. So folks who are looking for work can go into any one of the career hubs and get registered in the employeenv.gov system, which is our job bank system, where the
Okay.
employers that the Employee V Business Hub, the business solution account managers have relationships with post their jobs in that job bank. And it's the largest database of active job seekers in the state of Nevada. So the job seekers that post our create profiles, our registration, and the employeenv.gov website will have access to all kinds of employers and all kinds of opportunities, as well as the employers will have access to those job seekers and do matching and try to locate folks that will meet their minimum qualifications for the positions that they have available.
That's great. And so what types of supports are available for things like the resumes and applications and the interview prep for these individuals?
Yeah, so we have vocational rehabilitation, internal job developers,
Okay.
and they provide support specifically for individuals who have open cases with vocational rehabilitation. So those are people
Okay.
with disabilities, and they will actually help with all those job seeking skills, including creating or updating a resume, doing mock interviews, and also supporting the job search. So helping the job seeker, the participant, identify jobs in their field and where those jobs can be found, different websites, different opportunities like hiring events, which are also a great benefit of using the Employee NV Career Hub system and Business Hub system, because there are hiring events. Employers will actually do on-site interviews with
That's
job
incredible.
seekers.
Have you
So
guys,
they help with all that.
that's amazing. Have you guys come out to Pahrump for our hiring events? Like, I know you've talked about working with the coalition.
Yes, we have had an
Oh,
opportunity to partner with the coalition.
awesome.
Hiring events, I haven't personally been to a hiring event yet, but I would love to come to a hiring
Yeah.
event to, support the employers. We have had an Employee v Business Hub event at the Nye County or the Nye coalitions to just acquaint the business community with Employee NV Business Hub services, including working and providing support to people with disabilities in the workplace.
Oh, that's great. When were you guys out here for that?
That was last
That
year
was last year.
in 2024. Yeah,
Amazing.
so we hope we'll get out there again,
Yeah,
and
hopefully,
we look forward
maybe before
to
the new
speaking
year.
to even more businesses.
Yes, that'd be
Yes.
awesome. See if we can get you out here before 2025.
Yeah.
So how do you work with
Oh, I would love
employee?
that.
How do you work with employees to make sure job placements are inclusive for that individual?
That's a great question. What we always tell our participants is that it's on your abilities. So the number one thing we want to do is match the job seeker or participant to the job based on their skill set, their education, and experience. And then everything kind of comes after that. So if an individual, again, using the medical field as an example, has medical assistant experience, but they just need a little bit more um, to help them really feel comfortable in the field, we can offer employers on the job training to help kind of reimburse the employer the extra time that they're spending training an individual to be proficient in that job. So if the individual does need an accommodation, for instance, because they need extra support, then that we will look at on a case by case basis. And that's based on whatever barrier that individual person might be encountering.
Okay, well, that makes sense. That's that's amazing. So I know services are actively expanding into Prump. What does that look like right now?
Mm.
Like, where have you guys touched base at in here in Prump?
Well, we're talking to coalitions and going to outreach, doing field outreach, and just going door to door and speaking with employers about the services that we provide. A lot of employers are very surprised when we tell them that we exist, and they're excited and they want to participate. Pahrump is a wonderful community. It's very tight knit,
It
and it's
is.
a pleasure to be able to go in and provide additional services that will benefit the community.
Prump community know who they need to look for. That would be you, correct, Erica Brown? And then you're up, and you mentioned another coworker. that's working actively with Pahrump as well, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So the lead is our business solution account manager for the employee NV business hub. His name is Giovanni Vega, and he was the lead. I provide additional specialty services in regards to disability inclusion. We also have Monica Roberts, and she is our local veteran employment representative, and she can assist employers with hiring veterans as
Oh,
well. So
oh,
we can provide different options for labor pool.
oh, that's amazing. We do have a big community of veterans out here.
Yes, and we have had meetings with business owners together, providing, an overview of the services that we all provide individually and how we collaborate in providing a comprehensive assistance to employers.
Oh, that's great. All good things for Pahrump. I know people are excited to listen to
Yeah.
this for another resource that they don't know about. So if a family is
Mhm.
interested, so the first step in getting started with vocational rehabilitation is getting in contact with you and then going directly to the website to fill out the forms, because I know we touched on that earlier a little bit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And they can actually, so my email address is esbrown at detr.gov, and
Okay.
they can actually email me directly. And we can do an appointment and discuss their business needs, what they're looking for as far as an employee. And then we can go from there and talking about utilizing the employee and be.
Talked about transition services for students. Can you tell us more about those?
Yes, it's very exciting. That's kind of like the heart of our program is our kiddos, and helping them to kind of figure out what they want to do after high school. So the transition, our pre-ETS program, is for students between the ages 14 and 21 that are enrolled in either a traditional school, like the Nye County school district, or even a charter school, who are also maybe involved in special education in their school, or have a individualized education plan. So
Okay.
those are kind of the prerequisites to become eligible for those certs. And what we do for our students with disabilities is opportunities for career exploration, week camps, and summer youth internship programs every year. And
Wow.
kids are able to work with employers. Mhm. They're able to work with employers in a real world work situation. Is very successful. The employers have been amazing mentors to the kids, and it really helps them figure out whether they want to pursue that field. Um, and if they do, if they need to go to post secondary, you know, what that whole thing looks like. And also it helps employers get real world experience in working with people with disabilities and what the accommodation process looks like.
That's
So
great.
that's one of the services that we provide for transition.
And is that in Vegas, the camps and stuff you talked about?
Yes, we have had camps also in the rurals,
Okay.
in northern Nevada, but we have it throughout Nevada.
That's something we could maybe talk about bringing to Prep, because I had a day camp during the summer and I plan to have camps during the holidays. So I would love to see if we could make something
Yeah.
happen. I think that would be
That would be
incredible.
amazing. Yes,
I
I
think
think
that
so too. Our that would be, yes, a great collaboration.
I think so. That sounds incredible. It's making me smile just thinking of accommodations and inclusion and all of that to bring to the Pahrump community, which I'm myself have I've had my nonprofit now since June, but I've been active in helping and supporting families with disabilities for about 2 years now, because I have two boys on the spectrum. So it's very personal and close to my heart. So I want to talk
Love
about
it.
like the services and supports you guys also offer. What are some of the specific supports families can expect, like training, coaching, and advocacy from Vegas to here, I guess I should say, like the commute part of it?
Absolutely. So our counselors are right now in Vegas, but we have counselors assigned to Pahrump
Okay.
clients. So what the parents and students can expect is the counselor to provide support either virtually or maybe sometimes going down to Pahrump in person. Self-advocacy would include even talking to schools to provide support in the Nye County School District and talking to their teachers about having some of our vendors who provide that soft skill education and career exploration education, financial responsibility to come into the schools and actually do that on a regular basis. Those are some of the services that the counselors would provide, as well as one on one customized services. So, depending on what exactly the individual student would need, that's how the services that either the counselor will provide or another vendor. We do have job coaches vendors that will go ahead and also provide um, support on the job for students who are participating in work experiences or community-based assessments.
That's
But
perfect.
that's a very important component is your self
Yes.
advocacy.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm all for that too, teaching my kids how to self-advocate and the kids I work with as they become adults, because that's really important. I was going to ask, as you
It
talked about the
is.
school and teachers and such, do you guys, as long as like the parent gives permission or if the child is 18, if they give permission, do you guys work with the school, like looking at the accommodations of an IEP and working with that child to help them transition into the workforce?
Yes, the counselor can take on that role. It
Okay.
is with the permission of the school district. They can actually, we have a transition team specifically that can do presentations at the school with the special education teachers and administrators to let them know that we're available to collaborate with them and provide resources for the students
That's
to prepare
amazing.
them for either college or yes, it's incredible. We've a lot of different schools request those type of presentations throughout Nevada, and it's been pretty successful.
And is that something you guys are interested in doing in Pahrump? Because I'd love to get that going too, to have something with the school district for a collaboration.
Yes, absolutely. So our transition coordinator for the our statewide transition coordinator, I can go ahead and speak with her about that, and we can hopefully get something together
Yeah,
in reaching if they haven't already done so.
yeah, if they haven't already done so, I would love to help with that in any way I can. Like I said, I'm all for pushing
Oh,
resources
thank you,
out,
Whitney.
of course. Um,
Yes, I love it. It's a
yes.
great you're such a wonderful resource. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I
No,
just am
not at
so
all.
excited to have the opportunity to speak to you and kind of work together and pool our resources. So thank you.
Yes, me too. I mean, my nonprofit is Voices for All Abilities. So what better than to make everyone's voice known? And that's what I'm really here trying to do and pushing for, because everyone's voice is so important and everyone's voice is different. So
Sure.
it takes all of us
Absolutely.
to come together. So
It does.
are there any expenses families need to worry about, or are these services covered? How does that work?
So that's an excellent question. It depends on the household financial
Okay.
income. So some services may be completely covered. There might be financial participation on behalf of the family, the parents. It's just on a case by case basis.
Okay. That makes sense. So it's like a sliding scale kind of, or is it
A
just
little
like
bit.
tier? Okay. Or is it tiered, like to where there's
Yes, it
specific?
is.
Okay.
Yes, it's. I believe it's maybe a little bit like a sliding scale,
Okay.
but there's a certain threshold. I believe that the household income has to be in order for a voc rehab to pay for 100% of the services.
Okay. No, that
And
makes
the
sense.
counselor will explain. Yeah, and the best thing about it is that the process, the counselor will go over all of that between the eligibility, I should say, and the eligibility process about any financial participation that's required on behalf of the participant and their family.
So it sounds like the counselor has a lot of information for families when they work directly with the family or the individual, correct? They'll be kind of their guide, their tour
Correct.
guide for it all. That's
That's
great.
exactly what I love the way, yes, I love that's the perfect way to put it. Absolutely. Through the employment process and the work world. And also, we provide support after folks are hired. So after our participant is hired, we do have 90-day follow-on services. So we'll check in every 30 days.
I love that. And that's with the employer you check in as well, or just the individual?
Yeah.
So with
Both.
both. Yep. Okay.
The counselor, yes. The counselor will check with both the employer and the individual participant
That
just to
is,
make sure everything is going good, doing well.
it's another member of the family that will be there once a month. I love it.
Exactly. That's what it is. Yes.
It's hard not to get, I have therapists in my home and therapists outside and school staff. It's hard not to get not
Mhm.
it's hard not to get attached to these people that are in your lives and helping your
Oh, yeah.
child or
Sure.
your individual thrive in the community. So that's
That's
great.
so true. And it's so funny. It's funny that you mentioned that as well. I just want to mention real quick is that
Of
our
course.
counselors who work with our kiddos will work with them for 4 years. So if a kiddo goes from high school to college and they do that whole 4 years, we've had counselors, follow along and just be there as a support and watch them progress and take their classes and then finally graduate with a degree. And so it's so gratifying for the counselors just to speak on their behalf, to see
That's
them, walk
beautiful.
across that stage and get their diplomas or degrees. So
That is beautiful. That just shows the community it takes really to watch these individuals
mhm.
thrive, and that a trusting person in their life can just make it that much more special and brighter for them to work towards their goals that sometimes seem so far out of reach, but really we have reachable resources we can give you to make those goals reachable. So before we close out,
Exactly.
I
It's
have
nice
a
to have a
few more
cheerleader.
questions. Yes, that's what people call me, as a cheerleader. It's funny. I love that.
Yay.
Yeah, I need to start doing a VFAB cheer. What's the biggest impact you've seen vocational rehabilitation have on a family or individual?
That's an awesome question. Just from my experience, we provide a disability inclusion learning academy with Tapestry Fulfillment Center here in Las Vegas for warehouse fulfillment center positions. And so Tapestry is a distribution fulfillment center for the Western region. And they are a part of the Stuart Weitzman coach. And what we do with that Inclusion Academy is give folks an opportunity to learn how to work in a distribution center, to learn um, all those soft skills, or to practice all those soft skills that they learned during soft skills training that we offer, and to be able to get their foot in the door in a really reputable company. And we have folks so far. We've had it was a 4-week program. Now it's going to be 6 weeks starting in October of 2025. We have had 8 individuals graduate from this program, and there have been individuals who have not never had a stable position before, or might have experienced maybe not so great situations in the past with other employers, but Tapestry has completely embraced them and provided all kinds of supports and accommodations, such as job coaches. And we have really seen individuals, especially some of our younger folks who've never worked before, really flourish, and their whole attitude changes. They become a lot more confident, and they just have become great employees, and model employees for Tapestry. So I think that's one of the most exciting things that I've experienced. Yes. So, and we are continuing the program. Tapestry has made a commitment for the next academy, our inclusion, which is going to start October of 2025 for 6 weeks, expanded it. Uh, and we are just thrilled for the future in that program, and hopefully duplicating that program throughout Nevada.
Yes, I think that's wonderful. I would be excited to be a part of any of that if I could. That would be very rewarding. So, what do you want families listening in Pahrump to know about these services?
That we are here to support you, that we do have a orientation which is going to be presented virtually and in person on September 17th,
Oh, okay.
2025 at 10 a.m. So, if folks are interested in learning even more about our services and the eligibility process, and asking questions to our revised leadership at Vocational Rehabilitation, that will be a really great opportunity. The more information is on our website. It's vrnevada.nv.gov. And if folks want to click on the job seeker tab on the homepage, it'll have the whole virtual flyer for that orientation. And we have an orientation once a month. So I think that is just a great way to get an overall, informed, um, make an informed choice about whether the vocational rehabilitation services are right for them in their situation. But our mission is to support individuals with disabilities. Again, from our students, we have programs for our older blind participants, to help them maintain self sufficiency and independence if they're losing their vision home. So, all age groups, we do provide that support depending on, and again, it's customized depending on what exact situation that they're encountering that is a barrier to them maintaining employment, or even advancing in employment. And we even help individuals who are already employed, and maybe they acquired a disability, and they need an accommodation. They are also welcome to um, sign up for our service and register for our services.
That's amazing. And I want to thank you so much, Erica, for being on here today,
You're welcome.
sharing this with the Pahrump families that need to get connected to this resource, that want more resources and are excited for more resources for our community. So thank you again. And I appreciate you taking the time to be here. And I look forward to connecting in the future with you.
Me too. Thank you so much, Whitney, for this opportunity to, inform your listeners and viewers about vocational rehabilitation. And I look forward to collaborating with you as well.
All right, sounds great. And I will talk to you later. Bye, Erica. Thank you so much.
Bye, Whitney. You're welcome. Thank you.